Hey guys, Brian here from Starlight. Hope everybody out there is doing well. I posted one of these about a month ago, and since then I've had been in contact with some people, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or what should I do here? I'm going to make a part two, and I'm going to cover four parts today. This is essentially tips and pointers for writers who are submitting their work, looking to get published in various literary magazines. I am the managing editor at Starlite Pulp. We put out the Starlight Pulp review twice a year, and we're actually right in the middle of a submission cycle right now. So, number one, I believe it was Whiskey Bay Press, so shout out to them. And they asked me a question on Instagram, and I thought it was a pretty good one, right? And he said, "Where do you stand with gratuitous violence and or sex in stories?" And so I want to touch on that because it's actually, believe it or not, it's a question that editors have to deal with for one thing, and we essentially are find ourselves in a position where we have to take a position on it. Some editors are like, "Hey, more the better, whatever, you know." We're not like that. The way I would put our policy, if you want to call it that, would be this, right? Is that look, shock value is fine, 100%. Um, and writing a scene that is necessarily explicit, um, absolutely can work, right? In the right story and in the right context. If you are using it for character development or character motivation, that works and it makes sense. If it's something that's going to come back, it's something that shaped the character and something that we need to be aware of. That works. The problem comes is when, and other editors have seen this as well, is when you get a story and there's just a lot of it, right? Almost like think of like a slasher movie, right? Whether it's, Michael Myers or Jason or Freddy Krueger or Terrifier dude or whatever, right? Um, those work in movies, okay? It's tough to make that work in a short story or a book because just endless kind of mindless violence from a when you're watching it and visually it's captivating. That's one thing, and I'm not knocking them because I'm a big fan of a couple of those series, uh, but just kind of using it in your story, it's generally not going to go well. And most editors I know, there are some exceptions for sure, but they usually let you know that. Most editors kind of feel the same way with this. So just be aware of that. The gratuitous sex, gratuitous violence, 100% fine if it is moving the story forward and the characters forward. But if it's just there to be there, you're generally speaking, uh, it's going to be a hard road for that. A second thing I want to address is this: first publishing rights. A lot of people have questions about that. I have people all the time. Writers will ask me, "Okay, I was published in say, review two, review three, or something like that," and they're like, "So can do I have the rights to the story now? Is it has it reverted back and all that?" So let me now, granted, obviously, I can't speak for every literary magazine out there, but for us and most of the ones I've been involved with, both as an editor and the number of times I've been published in them, the way it works is this. Essentially, it's first publication rights, right? Meaning that the publisher and the writer agree to first publication rights. So in other words, you send me your story, I say, "Hey, I love this. Let's get this in the next edition." And then 6 months later, you say, "Hey, by the way, somebody was looking at using that story for something. Can I?" And absolutely, that at the moment the story is published, the rights revert back to you as the writer. Okay, and that's pretty standard across the industry. There might be some exceptions out there, but that's pretty standard. So I'll have people like, "Oh, I was thinking of using this in a collection or something like that. Can I republish it?" Or Or can I put it on my Substack now, or can I do something like that? Yes, for sure. The moment it gets published with the, whether it's the New Orleans review or Starlight Pulp review or um, Black Mask or whatever, moment that story gets put in print, right through back to you as the author and artist. Okay. So generally speaking, you don't need to worry about that kind of stuff. Now, you might find some shady editors and magazines out there from time to time. I hope you don't, but it's certainly possible. I know I've run into a few over the years, but not many. So yeah, that's how that's going to work. So just so everybody's aware on that. The third thing is, um, the third thing is we allow simultaneous submissions, and I don't know why you wouldn't. A lot of magazines out there don't. Doesn't make sense to me. Imagine going into a job, right? A job interview. And the guy says, the guy across from you says, or lady says, yes, you can apply here, but not if you've applied anywhere else. Just one job application at a time. It's absurd. It's literally a joke. I don't get that at all. So yes, we take simultaneous submissions. Not only that, we take multiple submissions from one writer per period if they want to. So so one word on that though. The thing that makes it work and the thing that makes that is important about it, right, is that if you get it, because we allow simultaneous submissions, if you get that story accepted somewhere else, withdraw it from the other places you've submitted it, because that's just honestly the respectful thing to do as a writer, especially because people are allowing you to do simultaneous submissions, right? So the least you can do is let them know. In fact, in the last day right now, two of our submissions for this new review have been withdrawn because they've been accepted elsewhere. I mean, that's two things. Love it. Okay, that's two things. Number one, three things actually. Number one, it's respectful, and I appreciate that from both writers. Number two, it is something that you know, it shows that you are caring about not only the magazines that you are submitting to, but also, and I know this sounds weird, but also that you are paying attention to it. Because sometimes people just send, and half the time they might be like, I don't know how many places. It's out to 20 places. Um, you always want to. I know when I was doing it, I oftentimes would use, I don't want to say a spreadsheet. That's not really the right word. I'm terrible at Excel, but I would just come up with a Word doc with multiple columns, and I would include stuff in there when I had submitted it, who I'd submitted to, things like that. So if it does get accepted somewhere else, always let the publisher or the magazine know. And of course, the other thing about it is that it's a positive sign, because what it means is that people are sending their work that is good enough to be not only published oftentimes with you, but with other people as well. And that's exactly what you want, right? As an editor, as somebody who runs a magazine, and as an author, because these are the stories that you're going to be next to. So always do that if you can, okay? And then last thing, I just feel like it needs to be addressed just because I'm seeing more and more of it out there. Um, I was kind of I went to Barnes and Noble the other day. It's not a common occurrence. I go to a lot of indie bookstores uh, often, and when I travel, I try to hit up small and indie bookstores wherever I go. And I know that I went to Barnes and Noble and I'm there, and I mean, the selection is what it is. You know what you're getting. Obviously, they need a lot of width and breadth, right? With what they're bringing you, they don't specialize in anything. So there's just a lot there. Although it's most of the time one or two copies of things. Um, but honestly, the amount of AI covers is really bothering me. Um, and I realize that not everybody's going to be on the same page as that, and that's fine. I'm not going to adjust my stance, that's for damn sure. But you know, I get it. I mean, if that's what you're into, it's cheaper, it's faster. I get it. Okay, it also sucks, but it's cheaper and faster. We've never used AI for anything. We never will for anything. Um, all of our covers have been done either by photographers or painters. And Ryan Snowden, who is our in-house digital artist, he did the cover for 29 Palms, and he'll do some others as well. But the point is that AI art will never be used by us. But we also get, well, we don't get them much, which is because we put it right in our policy. But there's also, you see more and more questions about, do you accept AI writing? And that is a firm capital N and O. We will never accept that. And quite frankly, I tend to be, I try to be really supportive of artists. My dad was an artist. I'm an artist. I'm surrounded by artists. I really try and want to be supportive of artists of all different generations, talent levels, and whatever they might be in, whether it's anything from sculpting to, to writing or painting or photography or whatever it might be. Having said that, people who use AI for their writing, no, that is not writing. Sorry, guys. It's just not. You can call yourself among your friends and family an AI artist or whatever, but that's not a thing. Um, you it's got to come from you. Okay. It's like saying I came up with an idea for a painting, so I'm going to hire a painter to paint that painting, and I'm going to say, yeah, I created this. No, you don't get to do that. Okay. And some writers will be like, well, I came up with the idea. Well, yeah, but we all have ideas. It's the people, it's the people who can actually write stories, novellas, books, memoirs, what have you, off of those ideas that deserve whatever acclaim comes with that. So just kind of a side note on that. I hate to see the more and more AI covers, and somebody was mentioning in the comments the other day on Instagram on something we posted that was essentially saying that he thinks that most covers in the next 5 years by the big four are going to be AI covers. And if they do that, that's actually fine because all that does is give us some separation. It allows us to make, quite frankly, far superior covers, um, and something that you're going to want to have facing out from your shelf or on the coffee table or whatever it might be. Something displayed somewhere where people can actually see it. And that's a calling card of ours. Hard Case Crime too from Charles Ardai. I know he hires painters all the time and used George McGinnis for some things as well. So the pulp covers of the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s were pretty amazing. On a consistent basis, to be honest. Then we got to the 70s and things got a little weird. Some late 60s and 70s stuff was not great. But what's interesting about that is they were generally not great. Again, across the board. They just weren't good. We were in a bad space uh, in the cover publishing era of the 70s. But then with Black Lizard and Vintage Crime in the 80s and 90s, and then Charles with Hard Case, and now hopefully we're trying to pick up that mantle as well, and do it as artistically and as effectively as we can. But anyways, so maybe they will. I don't know, but if they do, that's on them, and it's just another reason to avoid a lot of that stuff. All right. So those are four things we covered today: gratuitous violence and sex and stories, first publishing rights, whether to withdraw submissions or not, and then a little bit on AI work as well. All right. If you guys have any questions, you can always hit us up at editor@starlightpulp.com. Okay. There are five of us here with Starlight. two of us are editors, two of us are artists. One is just a general helper and a tech helper. And so if you ever have questions or are there specific things that you would like us to address, let us know. Okay, because we'll probably make a few more of these over however many months. So hit us up if you need anything. All right. Anyways, thanks so much. Good luck on your publishing journey. And our submission windows, keep in mind, are always February, March, and then August, September. So, but you can go to starlightpulp.com and you'll see all that. All right, guys. Thanks.